Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. On seeing the title of a recent Psychology Today article called "We've Got Depression All Wrong," it struck me that many people are living all wrong. And I'm going to talk about 5 areas: optimism, pursuit of happiness, intolerance, eating and substance abuse, and money and materialism. Let's start with optimism. Leaning toward general optimism or pessimism is foolish. Realism leads to the best decisions. Yet, the American culture prides itself on its optimistic spirit. Many people, I tend to think it's mainly, Europeans in general, tend to ridicule that. Of course, one can appropriately be optimistic or pessimistic regarding an individual issue, but the across-the-board tendency toward optimism, like things work out for the best, is indeed foolish. Next, the pursuit of happiness. A person could be happy having lots of sex, watching funny sitcoms, and getting loaded, but their life would be a waste. The life well led is about contribution, spending as many heartbeats as possible, using one's best talents and skills to maximally improve their sphere of influence or humankind, even more broadly. The third example of where many people are living all wrong is in the area of tolerance. Many people are pulling out all the stops these days to squash dissent. For example, the left's cancel culture and the right's religious intolerance. Per the old Tom Lehrer song, National Brotherhood Week, the Catholics hate the Protestants, and the Protestants hate the Catholics, and the Hindus hate the Muslims, and everyone hates the Jews. Well, at the risk of sounding like Rodney King, can't we all just get along? We should not just tolerate, but be open to wisdom that comes from our opposite pole. And next I want to talk about eating and substance abuse, health issues. Of course, it's sad to see gluttonous, obese people or the sloppy, drunk, or stoned person. I particularly shake my head as I see large families walk right past a market that sells low-cost fruits and vegetables to the nearby, more expensive fast food restaurant. And quite ironic, okay, it's laughable, are the many people I see, maybe it's because I live here in the Bay Area, who are obsessed about being vegetarian or eating organic, and yet overeat and abuse substances. The dangers of alcohol are well known. Those of marijuana, for example, are less publicized. If you would Google the latest on recreational marijuana and my last name, Nemko, you'll see a review of the literature from authoritative top university sources and from the National Institutes of Health. And anyway, regarding food, of course food's a pleasure, but the sequela, that's the fancy term for the negative side effects of being overweight, are legion. It's worth the effort to eat mindfully, healthy yet tasty, and slowly, which I don't do myself, I must admit, so you can derive more of food's pleasure while significantly extending lifespan and, importantly, health span. And finally, I want to talk about money and materialism. It's hard to understand why many people do work that they find soulless or even unethical, mainly because it pays more than middle income. After all, we spend the best hours of our day, the best years of our lives at work. And in coastal states, at least, and other places as well, half of income beyond middle income is lost in federal tax, state tax, local tax, the income taxes, plus in Social Security, minus, in addition to Social Security, Medicare, workers' compensation taxes. And often such people spend the after-tax half, that's what they keep after all those, the half of taxes is taken on things that yield little improvement in their lives: fancier zip code, more maintenance requiring and breakdown prone, ironically, luxury cars, frou-frou clothes, jewelry, and 5-star vacations. It is wiser to take the time, generally, everybody's different, but it's generally wiser to take the time to find work that you'll find more rewarding, even if it's less lucrative, and then be smart about your spending, especially on the 2 big items, housing and higher ed. If people take reasonable precautions with regard to housing, like locking doors and windows and not sauntering the neighborhood at night, differences in safety between a tony neighborhood and a modest neighborhood are too small to justify the massive cost difference. And if you can push aside status, which is an overrated, ethereal, evanescent attribute, making the most of a community college, whether it be for you or your child, and then transferring to a public university, will yield similar net learning and net career benefits at a small fraction of the cost. For example, at a community college, a top student could elect honors classes and other challenging classes, would stand out to professors and administration, which would afford them leadership opportunities and door-opening letters of reference and a door-opening GPA, and potentially transferring to a more prestigious university, say a well-regarded state university, than they could have gotten in as a freshman. And teaching, I've said this many times, but it's so true, teaching quality on average is better at community colleges than at prestigious universities, because faculty is hired and promoted mainly on their teaching ability, not on how many research dollars they can bring into the university coffers. In any event, I'm well aware that humans, including me, will always fall prey to human failings. But perhaps calling these out will help us all live, a life a little better led. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I'm Marty Nemko. I welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down. I always look forward to your comments, and I especially like it if you hit the share button below. Share on your social media so that my efforts can have broader impact. And I am flattered if you choose to subscribe to my channel. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko.